Hey guys, this is Peter and welcome back to the GIZGUIDEPH channel. Back in late 2021, TECNO introduced this POVA Neo, which is a budget-friendly device with a large 6.8-inch HD Plus display, dual rear cameras, and a monstrous 6000 mAh battery with 18 watts fast charging support at an affordable starting price of just 5,999 pesos. Let's see what it's got. Okay, first let's talk about its build. Similar to other smartphones in the TECNO POVA series, this POVA Neo is built with a polycarbonate material with a micro-engraved line that helps resist fingerprints and smudges. You can also find here at the back its fingerprint scanner. Its camera module at the back doesn't give a large camera bump, so it doesn't wobble when placed on flat surfaces. Technically, you don't need to put a case anymore, but if you want to, then you can use the free clear case included in the box. In front, we get slim bezels on the sides and a slightly thicker shin part. Meanwhile, the notch is placed on the upper middle that's right below the earpiece. It doesn't really bother us that much even when watching videos. We also get a pre-installed screen protector on top, which is always nice to see. There's none on top. The bottom houses a 3.5mm headphone jack, a second microphone, an outdated micro USB charging port, and the speaker grill. Placed on the left side is a triple camera card slot for the 2 nano SIM cards and a dedicated micro SD card slot. Meanwhile, the right side has all the buttons, namely the volume rocker and the power button. For a phone with a huge battery, the POVA Neo is actually light to hold, yet it can be a little large to grip for people with small hands. Overall, the build and design are more than what you expect for its price. It looks and feels tough, but of course, not too premium. This is an entry-level device after all. Now let's take a deeper look at its screen. The TECNO POVA Neo holds a large 6.8-inch HD Plus IPS display with a 120Hz touch sampling rate, not refresh rate, and a 1640 by 720 resolution at 263 ppi. In terms of quality, it looks detailed with good contrast and average colors. The brightness levels are great indoors but can be challenging to view under direct sunlight. There's no HDR support here, which is expected at this price point. Digging through the display settings, you will get the basic tweaks such as switch to dark mode and turn on eye care, which is the blue light filter. Additionally, you can take advantage of the peek-proof mode from the drop-down setting, and this will trigger a transparent black layer on the display of your screen, making it not easy to read for people around you. For audio, sounds come out mainly through the down-firing speaker and a low amount by the earpiece. It gets pretty loud even at 60%. The quality is good enough to be enjoyable but leaves room for improvement. The bass can be punchier. A plus here is there is little to no distortion at maximum volume. For additional sound features in the settings, you can turn on mono audio so you can combine channels when playing audio, and you can also adjust the audio balance if you prefer to use headsets. The device's single microphone performed well for calls and recording, making this good enough for consistent calling. The ear speaker, on the other hand, also delivered clear and audible audio during calls. Moving on to cameras, at the rear it has a dual camera setup with a 13-megapixel main camera and a 2-megapixel depth sensor, while the third circle is just a dummy. And then for selfies, it has an 8-megapixel front shooter. The camera UI is usually what you'd expect from other Android smartphones, which is feature-packed yet easy to navigate and explore. Checking out some sample photos, daylight photos with the rear cameras mostly look sharp and vibrant with occasional tendencies to look soft and muddy. The dynamic range is okay, but it can look overexposed in certain scenarios. There's no ultra-wide mode here, but you can manually zoom up to 4 times and the quality is expectedly a bit distorted, yet still nicely visible. Portrait shots, on the other hand, show good subject-to-background separation, yet the bokeh effect is not too strong to be noticed. Now for low light, it mostly takes up a good amount of light, but details are soft. Unfortunately, there's no night mode present here. Taking a look at selfies under good lighting conditions, we get nice bright shots that look a lot natural. The low light selfies, however, can look washed, so make sure to keep a steady hand or take multiple shots. For videos, the TECNO POVA Neo can shoot up to 1080p at 30fps for both the rear and front cameras. Sadly, there's no stabilization here. Under the hood, the TECNO POVA Neo is equipped with a MediaTek Helio G25 octa-core processor that is paired with PowerVR GE8320 GPU and 4GB or 6GB of RAM. What we have packs 4GB of RAM with the option to add 1 more GB of RAM through virtual expansion. For storage options, the unit we have has 64GB, while there's also a 128GB option available. Either way, this phone is expandable via its dedicated microSD card slot. With these internals, manage your expectations as navigating the UI has some 1-second delay sometimes. Nonetheless, it is decently responsive as long as you keep the device optimized. It proved to be a good secondary work phone for calling, messaging, and even watching videos. For gaming, we tried playing Pokemon Unite and Genshin Impact on it, and the device was able to handle them but mostly offering a laggy experience. Therefore, we suggest playing under the lowest graphics settings. The good thing with this device though is that it doesn't heat up too much unless you play heavy games while charging. Take a look at the benchmark scores that we got. Unfortunately, these scores are lower than the first POVA and the POVA 2. We wish that they use at least the Helio G70 chip for a faster performance. For connectivity, the POVA Neo includes Wi-Fi, 4G LTE, Bluetooth, FM radio, GPS, AGPS, GLONASS, Baidu, Galileo, and Dual SIM. All of them works quite well. Just note that the Wi-Fi and 4G LTE speeds depend on the signal strength and many other factors. In terms of battery life, keeping the POVA Neo running is a whopping 6,000 mAh capacity with 18 watts fast charging. Well, 6,000 mAh is seriously more than enough in today's standards, and it can surely last you up to 2 days on casual use. In our PCMark 3.0 battery life benchmark, it managed 23 hours and 24 minutes result. That is impressive. This is also one of the few budget phones with an 18 watts fast charging support that can fill it from 0 to 100% in 2 hours and 40 minutes. Running the software is Android 11 skinned with iOS 7.6. It's pretty easy to navigate and get the hang of. However, there are a few bloatware and pre-installed app presents, as well as a few ads that you can manage by turning off the recommended apps toggle. If you want to manage your apps further, then you can take advantage of the built-in freezer app, which from the name itself will freeze the apps that keep running in the background. Okay guys, now let's talk about the price and our final thoughts. This TECNO POVA Neo locally comes in 2 variants. The 4GB of RAM with 64GB storage with an SRP of 5,899 pesos, while the 6GB of RAM with 128GB variant is priced at 6,999 pesos. Generally, it got the basics covered from a large display, decent performance, deliverable cameras, and a long-lasting 6,000 mAh battery. It's a good enough device as a casual daily driver. It would be a real plus if you could catch it during the brand's usual online sale through their official Lazada and Shopee stores. Just note that they are not as impressive as the previous POVA smartphones though. If you want to weigh your options further, here are the pros and cons for us. That's it everyone. Again, this is Peter of GIZGUIDEPH.com. Please like and subscribe and stay safe always. Bye bye!